Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is local artist Mr. Chris Montes. Sir, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
No, man, I really appreciate it. I found I saw some of your stuff you posted on Instagram and instantly, man, like what I'll be honest, the one that drug me into your page to check you out and also, also follow was
Yeah,
'cause I'm old school. I've it was the painting of Vegeta that you did. That thing was
yeah, and
cool.
honestly, that's one of the more popular ones. Because people, like you said, like old school anime lovers
Mhm.
or anything like that, they see it instantly know exactly what that is and what scene that is from too.
And dude, and like the colors, the boldness of the colors and just how clean it looked, man. It almost looked like he printed that thing, man. That's how nice it looked.
Yeah, that's more or less the compliments I get on that is the way it looks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I don't ever like try to make things look the way they did come out to, but sometimes they just do, and I'm like, you know what, that came out perfect. I loved it.
Nice,
That
man.
was one
Nice.
of them where like I was messing around with my medium and stuff like that, and it came out. And at first I was like, I don't know, it's okay. But then like as I looked at it more and more, I was like, yeah, I'm digging it.
Nah, dude, it's cool, man. Like, hey, let's talk a little about you first, man. How did you get into art, painting and things like that? What got you into that?
Well, I'm pretty sure like most people when I was younger, middle school, high school, did all the art classes, stuff like that. And I used to draw, sketch. It was mostly sketching
Mhm.
that I used to do when I was younger. Um, and then after graduating high school, left to the military and did that.
Oh, cool.
Didn't really do much art, after high school. I was, maybe here and there I would like pick up a pencil and doodle something, but nothing too crazy. Um, and then after coming back home and stuff like that, one day just like, you know what, I want to paint something because I never really painted.
Yeah.
Painting was for me was like the odd thing for me. I never thought I was good at it or anything like that. And then one day, just like, you know what, let me do it. I had a buddy who gave me a skateboard. Actually, that
Mm.
was actually what got me into it. And I just threw some stuff on it, and it came out good. And I was like, okay, cool, this is awesome. And little by little, just started doing more and more. Did a couple more skateboards after that, a couple for friends, birthdays, stuff like that.
That's cool.
Then transferred over to Canvas and just started picking up more and more. And so I got back into it maybe like 2 years ago,
Mm.
something like that. And like started painting frequently, more often, stuff like that. But as far as like doing like art show and vending and pop ups and stuff like that, I've only been doing that for like the past maybe like 6, 8 months.
Oh, wow.
So that's new to me.
How's that experience been for you? Going to those pop-ups and those things like that with your art. How's been the experience and the feedback from people?
I've had, as far as feedback, actually good feedback. I
Mm.
have a lot of compliments, which is for me like definitely I've never thought about selling art or like anything like that. I just always did it as a hobby. So like when people come and tell me like, oh, like you said, like the Vegeta, for instance, like people love that one.
Yeah.
There's the other one I have of the Darth Maul with
Oh,
the skull and everything like that. People love that one as well. The way
dude,
it looked and the
nice.
texture on
I
it.
haven't seen that one. No, actually, Darth Maul is my favorite villain from the Star
Yeah,
Wars.
and it's kind of the same. It's like a skull version of him,
Mhm.
and everything like that. But the colors, the spikes, and everything like that.
That's
So
cool.
people really give me good feedback. I love the compliments that people give me and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
As far as the vendings and the pop ups, up and down. I've talked to multiple vendors, people that I've gotten to know and become friends with throughout the year now, who've given me a lot of advice, a lot of do this, maybe do this, tips and traits and stuff
Oh,
like
no.
that. Because a couple of my first pop ups, decent, not too bad. I've had a couple of them that not the best. um, but I did. It's mostly because also like my style. Depending on the pop up you are doing.
Mhm.
Um, and then I know some people don't, but like you do kind of have to kind of cater to those pop ups.
Yeah.
If you're doing like an anime pop up or something like that, and you have no anime, it's probably not going to do the best just because people go for the anime.
Right.
And that's something I've seen. So it's not necessarily like, hey, don't do your style, don't do what you love, but you kind of have to cater if you're trying to sell and make money.
Yeah, so say you got to cater to your audience, like
Yeah,
like wherever you're popping up or wherever the shop is, depending, I guess, the theme of whatever the pop up or the I guess the sales or whatever. That's what kind of like people are going there to look for just for that.
exactly. Like the pop up I did yesterday was the Krampus,
Uh-huh.
the Krampus Fest hosted by um, Kaleidoscope Art Market.
Hmm.
That's the ones that hosted, and they do a lot of pop ups. They do a bunch of different ones. But that was more of a Krampus horror Halloween.
Hmm.
So like the art that I had for that, a lot of my Christmas theme stuff sold. You know, whether it's the prints or the canvases, but a lot of those sold. If it was Christmas related, it mostly sold.
Yeah.
But it's just my older stuff kind of didn't.
Yeah. But I just want to mention, talk to you about what you had said too. Like you said, you had gotten some advice from some other artists, and I've had another artist on the show before, and he actually mentioned the same thing, that a lot of local artists kind of like, come together and give each other advice. And
Yeah,
I think that is so cool that the community like that here in El Paso amongst artists is so, um, I would guess like friendly, I guess, like that. That's so
it
cool.
is. It really is. Like I said, like when I would go to pop ups and like see different things, different styles, different art, and then getting in the mindset of like, hey, I want to do this one day. Um, and just even asking just simple questions like, hey, who do you use to make your prints, or what kind of medium do you use? Do you use
Hmm.
acrylic? Do you use oil paints? You know, stuff like that. And yeah, people are real friendly. All the other artists, vendors, they're very, you know, welcoming to help you out and stuff like that. Give you those advice and stuff like that. Um, there's a couple of them that gave me great advice that, you know, and one advice that
Hmm.
a couple have told me is like, hey, when you start off, make sure just remember it might not be a slam dunk on the first pop up. You know, it
Right.
might take a couple of pop ups to like, you know, generate some traction, stuff like that. And yeah, it's true because, like I said, the first couple that I did were decent, but I've had some bad ones. And everyone has bad ones. Everyone has good ones.
Mhm.
So it's just like one of those like just stick it out. You know,
Right.
one day you're gonna get that like great one.
Yeah, no, man. I'm gonna ask, like I was gonna ask, did you take that skull with the Christmas hat yet to your pop up yesterday?
I did, and it sold pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So
man,
that
that
was one that sold very quickly. I had a couple of people that liked it. I guess it stood out to, you know, on my table and everything like that. Like people
yeah,
saw it, and then like you said, you know, people went for Christmas
right.
oriented gifts, and that was obviously a big one.
Yeah, like that the way you did it with the green skull with the Christmas hat and then the black background. It just like the
Yeah,
skull just pops, dude, and so does the red.
yeah,
It looks
exactly.
really cool. It looked really cool. Whoever bought that is lucky.
Yeah, and I honestly that was one that I kind of I wanted because I did like the other theme Christmas one, but they were more cutish, you know, nice and you know, because I did the Pokemon one, I did the Jack
Right.
Skellington one, um, but I wanted one to be a little bit darker, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
You know,
no, dude,
one of those
that
like
one was cool. And I was looking at I just saw the like Jack Skellington one. That one's cool too.
yeah, and a lot of people with that one. The canvas sold pretty quickly, and then I sold a couple because I made different size prints for that one,
Hmm.
um, and I sold a decent amount of the prints as well for that one.
That's pretty
So
cool,
a lot of
man.
people like that one.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, it is that like and like do you also would like, I mean, I don't know if you've had done any, but would you do like commissions if people were interested and like,
You know, and a lot of people have asked me that. I don't mind doing commissions and stuff like that. If someone reached out to me and said like, "Hey, I want this," because a lot of people have asked me about the skateboards.
Hmm.
Because obviously I have the certain ones that I have right now, and people are like, "Oh, I really like it, but do you have this?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." And they'll ask me that question, and
Oh,
I'm not opposed to it. It's just one of those things where I guess I don't know if everyone has this issue, but like writer's block type thing.
oh, right.
You know, like you know, someone's like, "Hey, I want this." Like, cool, I can do that, and then like I just like, nope, can't think of it. I can't put it on paper. It just doesn't come to me, and I don't want
Yeah.
to be like that person who's like, oh, I told you I'll get this done in a month, and it's 6 months down the road.
Right. No, no. I mean, like, I
But
mean, a lot of artists work differently. Sometimes they, like you said, like
yeah,
some like don't mind just taking on commissions, and sometimes like others I've heard that just like they paint what they want. Like they first what comes out of
yeah,
their mind, like, hey, this is what I paint. I mean, and I
yeah,
know
and that's kind
everyone's
of where I'm
different.
at.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. I mean, the heck no, there's nothing wrong with that at all, man. I mean, you're putting your talents out there, and they're awesome, by the way. And
thank you.
I'm grateful that I got onto your page and started following you. So I mean, your stuff is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. Like I just and I'm pretty sure every artist who would probably say this were our own worst critics. Um, we're
Yeah,
always going to be like, no, there's better ones out there, stuff like that.
yeah,
But
you're
appreciate it. I
not
mean,
you're
that
not
does mean a
alone.
lot.
Like I do that
Yeah,
with I do that with videos. 'Cause I do that on the side, and like I'll make a video and be like, oh, I don't like it, and I'll change it a couple of times. So I kind of like it, but yeah,
yeah,
you're your own worst critic, man. I agree.
yeah,
I mean, but sometimes I think as long as if you're gonna be like that to yourself, as long as you work to get better, and whatever you put out there makes you happy, I think that's even great. That's even better.
yeah. I agree. And for me right now at this point, this is still just a side hobby.
Yeah.
It's not my income. It's not
Mhm.
my the money I make off of it. Basically, really goes back into the art. Buying materials or paying
Right.
for my next pop up or something. Um, and then whatever left over, then I'll use it for me. But
Yeah.
it's not really my main source of income or anything like that. I still have my day job that takes up a lot of my time. So,
Right.
painting in between those and stuff like that and still resting, it does, it's an outlet. And
Right.
and like you said, it's something I started doing, and the pop-ups and the vending and all that. I'm starting to enjoy it like more and more. I
Nice.
mean, meeting, like you said, there's a lot of artists out there that are very friendly,
Mm.
even customers and just people that go to the shows. It's a different thing to see people appreciate not just your art, but everyone's art.
Right. And I think too, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, even if it is on the side or for fun or just, just to sell something to buy the materials to do another one, dude, as
Yeah,
long as you're loving it, there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, I agree. I mean, and it really, because like I said, before I even got into pop up and vending and stuff like that, I started repainting, redrawing, redoing everything about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, give or take.
Yeah.
Um, and it was my friends and family who were like, "Oh, this is really cool," and like, "Oh, I really would love something like that." And like I said, that's something I did. Where like I painted a couple of skateboards for some friends' birthdays and for gifts. Um, and then little by little, people were like, "Hey, why don't you sell the boards? Why don't you sell your
Mhm.
art? Why don't you do this?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm good enough. And then finally, I pulled the trigger and did it. And yeah, I mean, I did a couple of them back to back, and then it took there was a little period where I didn't do it just 'cause I was busy, and then you know I just did the one yesterday,
Mhm.
and I have 2 more coming up, within the month.
Nice.
So sometimes I'm back to back, sometimes it might take me a month or so.
Right. No, that's cool.
So
And then if people want to follow you at like where can they find you on social media so they can check out your art, check out to where what neck pop up or where you're gonna be at selling your stuff? Where can they find you, man?
so right now my main social media is my Instagram, and it's Art by Tez. Tez is just like a nickname that I've had, and I use that.
Nice.
But it's for my last name. Um, but Art by Tez, no, it's art underscore or art dot by underscore Tez.
Cool.
Um, but that's my main source of media right now. I do sell like posts and stuff like that on my personal Facebook, um, for like family and friends that I have and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
don't have an art page yet.
Right.
Maybe I will. I haven't really, because I know some people only use Facebook, some people only use Instagram,
Right.
and stuff like that. But as of right now, I think Instagram is like the better of the
Yeah.
choices, I guess.
We'll direct everyone to your Instagram page at it's
Okay, cool. Yeah.
art.by_TES. And I'll make sure I put that information in the description below, man. That way they can find you, follow you so they can know where you're gonna be at next. Check out what cool new stuff you painted and just enjoy your art, man. Even if they just see it on Instagram, like I have been
Yeah, I mean,
seeing.
even just a follow is like, I'm pretty sure everyone agrees. Like, just having another follower, you're like, oh, this is cool. Like, someone
Yeah.
wants to see my art, my shows, my videos, or whatever. So it makes it nice. But yeah, I on there I do post. my new stuff. I do post where I'm gonna be at, you
Mhm.
know, and then obviously like there's though like my stories of like me at the events and stuff. That's what people can see. Um, don't have a lot of followers right now. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to become Instagram famous or anything like that. But
Right.
like you said, just to have people enjoy that like to enjoy my art and stuff like that, which is really,
Right.
really cool to me. I
No,
appreciate that.
dude, like I said, as long as you're enjoying yourself, it doesn't matter. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then and then people definitely like you were saying, like people message me and like, hey, I want this, or like, oh, this would be a cool idea of doing this. You know, give me ideas of like my next art project or next painting I
Nice.
want to do. I know a lot of people have asked for the Vegeta one.
Yeah.
They asked like, oh, do you have like a Goku one? And that's the one I want to do. Eventually, I will do, which same size canvas, same look almost, but it's going to be Goku facing the other side, so they could be kind of paired together.
Oh,
And
that'd be
it's
cool.
that stare down on that episode where they're like staring at each other, like getting ready to fight, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's a good one.
that's one I'm
I
going to be
I know
doing too.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like they're both in that serious like moment and like ready to just go at it.
Right.
And yeah, so eventually I'm gonna do a Goku version of that one to go with it.
Do it, man. Do it. Do it. And make sure everyone follow Chris on his Instagram page. It be in the description below. That way you can check him out. Check him out next time he's at his next pop-up or next art show. Chris, man, I really appreciate you joining me today. One more question, man. I was like, is there like a piece of art that you've done that you're like, it's mine. Like I'm not ever selling it. You just have it there with you, or do you just like just whatever?
Not yet. I mean, there's been a couple of them that I'm like, the two skateboards that I sold recently,
Hmm.
which was it was the red one with the Oni mask demon face, the Japanese Oni mask demon face, and
Hmm.
then there was another one. It was a pink background with a blue skull, some flowers on it. Those
Nice.
two were like the two most popular ones I had, and those two I really did like and enjoy. But I did end up selling them. But those were the two that I was like, those are like I like those. I like the way they came out, the color schemes, they just
Right.
pop. But I did end up selling them. But I haven't come across anything that I've done that I'm just like, yeah, this one is
This one's mine.
like perfect to keep. Yeah, not yet, but there's some things in my mind that I want to do that I might keep for myself. I haven't got that far yet, but it
Mhm.
just depends on when I do it, how they come out, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one because
Yeah, cool.
I know that's gonna happen one of these days.
Right. Now I'll keep an eye out for it, man. So it'd be cool.
Mhm.
Oh, but Chris, I appreciate you joining me today, man. Let me just add, is there anything else you'd like to say or add before we end today?
Well, for sure, I know like a lot of artists appreciate just people showing up to the shows. So
Mhm.
if anyone wants to go out to shows, I mean, just following different artists helps out us with that. But like for instance, this Saturday on the 16th, from trying to remember what time. I think it's from 12 to 5 or 12 to 6. I'll be
Mhm.
at Undisputed on the east side, the bar.
Okay.
They do monthly pop-ups still at the end of the month mostly. And I've done a couple of those, which is really nice. They have great artists. It's more alternative punk rock. So that's like your style of like, grunge, rock, metal,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They do a lot of cool stuff there. But I'll be there Saturday um, at that time. And then I have another one again. The people that hosted the Krampus, we will be again having another event on January 6th at the Coliseum.
Cool. Oh,
It's a and that one's going to be an anime attic.
okay.
So probably anime lovers, that's probably going to have a lot of great stuff there, a lot of great artists there. That one's going to be from 2 to 10, so it's going to be a pretty long event,
Yeah.
but pretty big. If it was just as big as the Krampus and Eventful, then it'll probably be just as
Nice,
good.
man. Nice. Now I'll make sure I'll get that info from you, man. Include that in the description so everyone can check you out and go check out the art shows, man. That's
Yeah,
always fun to go to. It's always fun to go to. Just check out the local artists, support
yeah.
local,
I mean,
like
if
I
you have
always say.
nothing, yeah, if you have nothing to do, you're just chilling and want to hang out, just get out of the house for a little bit. You know, even if you don't buy anything, just kind of see what's out there and stuff like that.
Right, right. No, that's cool, man. Well, Chris, I appreciate you joining me today, man. First of all, not last but not least, but I'd like to thank you for your service. I know you had served in in the U.S. Military for us, and I appreciate your service. And we'll keep an eye out, man. I'll make sure, like I said, I'll include all your info in the description below, and have you people check you out.
Yeah, no worries. I'll be around. Just throwing my order up as much as I can.
Cool, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.